My DVD review of Ring of Honor, Bedlam, and Beantown. The opening matchup was a four-corner survival match. Winner receives a world title shot later on in the evening against Nigel McGuinness. This included El Generico versus Romero versus Roderick versus Erick Stevens. This was a good match. I thought it should have went at least about another 5 minutes. It felt like it ran a little short, but you saw a lot of good stuff in here. Started off with Erick Stevens and Roderick going back and forth. They started brawling. A lot of good stuff at the beginning between them two. Those two, have been working real great ever since they started their feud. A lot of good stuff in here. Obviously, with the two members of the No Remorse Corps, you saw Romero and Roderick double team on Erick Stevens, wear him down for a little while, back and forth tags between the two. Then, like you would see in any type of match like this, there's two tag team competitors. Obviously, they work together. Then, obviously, they fight over the pinfall like always. That you see Romero go for the pinfall. Roderick stops it. You see a little scuffle between them two. See them shove each other. Then you see El Generico getting his stuff in this match. A lot of good stuff from him. The end of this match, I thought, was a little weak. You saw, like I said, you saw Romero and Roderick you saw them shoving each other. And Erick Stevens hits the running choo-choo from behind onto Roderick, which knocks down Romero, and he just rolls up Roderick, which I thought was a little weak. Definitely a 2 3/4 star match. The end of it with just the roll-up kind of hurt it a little. Like I said, it should have went at least another 5 minutes. Then the next matchup was Mike Bennett versus Jason Blade, and this was just a match to put over and somewhat showcase Jason Blade. So it got the job done in that case. This was pretty much a short match. Pretty much, I wouldn't say really a squash because Mike Bennett did get in some offense, but it was pretty much, showcasing Jason Blade. Got the job done. It was a watchable match. Jason Blade picks up the victory after it was somewhat of a combination of a backdrop into a face plant to Mike Bennett in a 1 3/4 star match. Then the next matchup was Eddie Edwards versus Jigsaw, and this was a good match, good back and forth action from both of them. The match sees Larry Sweeney's music hits while you see them, both the Jigsaw and Eddie Edwards wrestle. He distracts Jigsaw, and then Eddie Edwards hits him from behind with the TK1 bomb, basically a fisherman buster to Jigsaw. At about 2 1/4 star match. Then after the match, he joined Sweet and Sour Incorporated, and definitely, can't wait to see what they do with him. Hopefully they, push him pretty strong, because the next matchup was Jack Evans and Ruckus versus the Briscoes. And this was a good tag team match. A lot of good fast-paced back-and-forth action from both teams. A little spotty in the sense, but it was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable watch. Jack Evans and Ruckus, they pick up the upset victory on the Briscoes when Ruckus hits a top rope bulldog onto Mark Briscoe. Then Jack Evans hits a 630 onto him for the victory. And I would say a 3-star match. I found it enjoyable. After this, it looks like you're going to see a Sarah Del Rey versus Daisy Hayes Shimmer title match. Match never happens. Larry Sweeney comes out here doing his manager, great heel stuff and great mic work. And comes out here and says, whoa, Sarah Del Rey, you cannot do this match. Any match that you want to be in, you have to come through me. So, obviously, Sarah Del Rey doesn't have this match. She just goes to the back. Then Daisy Hayes says, I was advertised to be in a match on this show. So, she tries to get a match. And Larry Sweeney's like, okay, you want a match? You'll take on me. And this leads to the Sweet and Sour Incorporated of Larry Sweeney, Chris Hero and Brent Albright try to beat down Daisy Hayes. Delirious makes the save. He gets beat down, which then leads Claudio Castagnoli and Pelle Primeau to come out here, which turns this into a 6-man elimination match. The eliminations goes as follows. Larry Sweeney pins Pelle Primeau after Albright hits the half Nelson suplex on him. Then the next elimination comes from Delirious getting eliminated by Brent Albright after a half Nelson suplex and repetitive knees to the forehead of Delirious, which renders him unable to compete. And then it's a 3-1 advantage for Sweet and Sour Incorporated, which then leads to Claudio Castagnoli eliminating Chris Hero, which then leads to a great stuff between Albright and Albright and Castagnoli to end this match. You see some good back and forth action with them. Larry Sweeney was still out there on the ring apron. He was still legally in this match, obviously. Claudio Castagnoli went a few times, tried to grab him, try to pull him into the ring. Larry Sweeney did, the great cowardly manager role of backing up, getting on the floor. Then you see him run to the back, which you would think he would return after the end of this, but he doesn't. You see like about 10 to 15 minutes of great action between Albright and Castagnoli. Albright picks up the victory after hitting, not Albright, Claudio Castagnoli picks up the victory after hitting the Ricola bomb onto Albright, which led me to think, okay, Larry Sweeney's still legally in this match. So I thought he was going to come back out, distract Claudio and hit him with the Hero's Welcome, and then, Larry Sweeney come in there and pin him and gloat that he won this all by himself. I thought that would have made it a little better, but with the stuff that Albright and Castagnoli did in this match, you saw a lot of great stuff between them. Before them two got into their action between it was kind of a, lackluster match, but they helped this match out a lot. I would say, 2 3/4 stars, possibly even a 3-star match just with the 10 to 15 minutes of stuff they did between each other, which was very good. Then the next matchup was Kota Ibushi versus Davey Richardson, easily the match of the night, and great stuff between these two. A lot of good back and forth action. Really enjoyed this match. A lot of good strikes from both of them. A lot of good aerial stuff from Kota Ibushi. Davey Richards did a lot of good stuff. A lot of good wrestling in this match. A lot of good variations of German suplexes from Ibushi. Dragon suplex from him. A lot of good stuff. Really enjoyed this match. Easily, if there's a match on this DVD, I would recommend people to see it's this match. A lot of great stuff. The end of the match comes when Kota Ibushi goes for the Phoenix Splash onto Davey Richards. Davey Richards moves out of the way. Davey Richards then picks him up, hits the Tombstone Piledriver, and puts him into the Kimura, which leads to him tapping out and Davey Richards picking the victory up in a 4-star match. Great match. A lot of good stuff between these two. A lot of good aerial stuff. A lot of good mat work. Just a lot of good stuff I enjoyed in that match. Then the next matchup was the ROH World Title match between Erick Stevens versus Nigel McGuinness. And before the match even starts, and before even Nigel McGuinness comes out here and makes his entrance, you see Roderick Strong come out here and attack Erick Stevens, which leads to them playing off that Erick Stevens has an arm injury. Looks like he's not going to be able to compete in this match. He comes back out there and says, Nigel, I'm going to compete in this match. I'm going to give the fans what they want, and what they want is a ROH World Title match. So obviously, early in the match and throughout this match, you saw a lot of good selling from Erick Stevens playing off the arm injury that he's supposed to have. A lot of good in-ring psychology. A lot of good, got a lot of good submission holds from Nigel McGuinness playing over the arm. Just a lot of good stuff. This be a match some people might find boring, but just the stuff they did between each other I thought was good. A lot of good back and forth action between the two. Saw them brawling on the floor a little bit. Just a lot of good back and forth action inside the ring. The end of the match, some people might view as a botch, but really, if you look at the way they were doing, the in-ring psychology of the match, it really wasn't a botch. They have Erick Stevens get on the middle rope, and it looks like he's going to do a dive to Nigel McGuinness, which he then trips, which they're basically playing off the fact that he couldn't hold himself up there because he had one weak arm, which leads him to fall into the London Dungeon to Nigel McGuinness, and Nigel McGuinness at this point and still, now is still the Ring of Honor World Champion. A lot of great stuff, and one thing I forgot to mention before the match even started, Nigel McGuinness did, a lot of good stuff on the mic before the match started, really rivaling the crowd, really getting a lot of great heel heat. 3.5 stars, really enjoyed this match between the two. They could have probably done something a little better, but they did put together a very good match. Then the main event of the evening was Necro Butcher versus Kevin Steen in a Boston Massacre match. And this was, street fight, no disqualification, anything goes match. And pretty much what every Necro Butcher match is in any promotion, which is basically no rules, relaxed rules, or something like that. And this was a little of a disappointing match. I thought, they should have done a little more hardcore stuff in here, but you saw some good stuff in here, a lot of good stiff chair shots from both of them, a lot of stiff strikes from Necro Butcher to Kevin Steen in this match. A lot of good stuff between the two, but I thought it could have been a little better. It was one of those matches that was good, but not great. Felt they probably could have put on a little something better. The end of this match was good. Before the end of the match, there was thumbtacks involved in this match. Necro Butcher throws Kevin Steen into there. The end of this match comes when Necro Butcher puts in a barbed wire board into the ring. He back body drops Kevin Steen into it. Then Kevin Steen sells it, gets out of it. Then you see them fight for a little bit. Then you see Necro Butcher putting a sharpshooter while his body is wrapped around the barbed wire and the barbed wire board. Just, a lot of good stuff between, a lot of good way to end the match. And then you see him end up having to give up because he's wrapped around the barbed wire. And after the match, you see his arms and his forehead and everything busted open, bleeding real heavily. Kevin Steen picks up the victory in a 3 1/4 star match. Overall, I would give this DVD about a 7.25.